back to my channel. So today I am doing my haul for Black Friday for the Fragrance by Black Friday sale. Don't know if you guys picked any up, but I was very excited to get kind of like a little extra sale on some items I'd been putting off, and then some items that just kind of showed up during that time that had been sold out for a while. So I've got 4 fragrances to get to. One or two of them are actually first from the houses. The one I'm most nervous for altogether, I'm gonna leave for last. And there's only one that's not a blind buy. So without any further ado, we will get started. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. All that information and more is in the description box below. And I always put my fragrance buy link in the description box below. So if you haven't bought from them, you can check it out. Okay, I'm so excited. I know I say that every time, but I really am so excited. I went a little bit out of my comfort zone. I mean, you'll see. This time around, because I really wanted to be, for whatever reason, a little bit more driven by sales and like what was available and what was like being promoted, rather than like my long standing loves, except for the last one. You'll see what I mean. But the first one's a Byredo fragrance, and this one was actually on a pretty good deal. It was like the best deal out of all the Byredo fragrances, I believe. So I picked it up, even though I really am holding out to get Mojave Ghost. That one was a little bit more expensive. So I decided to go for this one, and that's Gypsy Water. I do remember trying this out before in a sample. I might have even had it in like a Byredo video that I've done. And I remember being like, this was very hyped. Like when it first came out, I remember even like non-fragrance people being very, very obsessed with this. I think the name really drove the clientele a little bit more. I remember Makeup by Tiffany D, if you guys ever watched her. She was like an OG YouTuber I watched. I'm still subscribed, but I need to catch up. I was like obsessed with her back in her closet days when she like filmed all those videos from her closet, and pretty much since the beginning. But anyways, I really have very similar fragrance taste to her. I'm incredibly more obsessed, obviously, but she's like, everything she's really liked, I've liked as well. And I think that was part of the reason I decided, other than the fact that it was on a deal, to like give Gypsy Water another chance, is because I remember she really liked this when it first came out. So here's what it looks like. Obviously, I feel like I'm like part of the minority of fragrance YouTubers or frag heads or whatever you're gonna call us that like likes Byredo. I think that they get a, and I've spoken about this before, they get like a bad rep, particularly for their lasting power, but I always get such good performance from their scents. I don't know what it is. Even Bal d'Afrique, which is my favorite ultimate #1 scent from the house, nothing has ever trumped that for me. And everyone complains about the performance. Like, it lasts so well on me, and I'm never that person where things last better on me than the average. So I don't know, I'm gonna take it as goodwill. I really like the house. I find that obviously I don't like every single scent, like Pulp, wink wink nudge nudge is horrible, but in general it's a house I really enjoy, and I'm happy to buy what I like and not be just swayed by people who don't like it. But all that to be said, I was excited to give Gypsy Water another shot because it has been such a long time since I kind of smelled the sample, and it's always nice to get Byredo on a deal. So this, I remember it being a little bit more like green herbal. But anyways, the notes are juniper, lemon, bergamot, pepper, pine needles, incense, orris root, sandalwood, vanilla, and amber. And yeah, I just remember it being like a little bit foresty, a little bit citrus. Let's see. I also really like the bottles. I'm not like a minimalist person. I think that's obvious with my hundreds of perfumes, but in case you were wondering, I'm not a minimalist. But this, like, I vibe with their vibe. Something about the house just obviously speaks to me. So let's, ooh, Yes, okay. I'm reminded by it now. This is very Makeup by Tiffany D. I feel like I know her. If you've ever like watched someone for years and years, like over a decade, you kind of feel like you know them. And I feel like I know her in a way. And this very much aligns with what I think she would like. It's the kind of like green citrus scent that a person who is safe with their fragrances would like. I feel like it's still approachable and it's still likable but unique without being so like indie smelling. And maybe like too hyper realistic, but it definitely has a like slightly peppery pine needle scent without being Christmassy. Like it doesn't smell festive. It just smells natural and very like herbal, and the citrus in it, I feel like just brightens it. It doesn't like tartan it up so much. I really like this. I'm happy I picked it up because I think it's also a kind of a classier scent. It just smells, it like evokes imagery of just someone who smells good and clean without smelling like a clean scent. It doesn't smell powdery or laundry like or detergent like, which are things I all love. But for a lot of people, those things are like a bit like scent triggering, or they just don't vibe with having like their fragrance smell clean, but they do want kind of like a clean, fresh scent. This would be a really nice office scent. It makes me feel like, or an everyday scent. If someone smelled like this, I don't know, I get in my head about wanting to be like a 1 scent person, which I will never be. But I feel like this would be like the classiest person in like a first class lounge at the airport. They're like traveling for business. They have like a crisp, I don't know, style to them. Very like white button down suit. I think it's a unisex scent, but I imagine like this being like the cool unisex scent that a woman would wear. That's the kind of vibe I get. I'm happy to have this. I'm really happy to try it out and wear it and see kind of where it falls for me with my other 2 Byredo scents, because I have Blanche and Bal d'Afrique. Right off the bat, it doesn't trump Bal d'Afrique for me. I don't know if anything ever will from this house, but it's already more my vibe than Blanche. Blanche, I felt like I liked so much before, like up until I kind of got the bottle and started wearing it, but then it's like started to kind of bother me a little bit. So I've been taking a break from that one. Yeah, so that is Gypsy Water by Byredo. All right, so the next one's actually one I was kind of swayed to buy by another person because I saw that this had come back in stock and people were excited about it and that it was hard to find, and it's in a line of fragrances I enjoy. So I snapped it up. The rest are totally blind, and it was a tester bottle, so it was even better deal, and I was really, really excited. So I have high expectations for this. This is Jean Paul Gaultier's Classique, but it's the Essence de Parfum. So it's an eau de parfum intense. It should be stronger. It's the 100 ml and it's a tester bottle, so obviously it's in this box. I've yet to open it yet, but you guys know I'm a huge like Classique lover, but in general, Jean Paul Gaultier I think makes sense that I just vibe with. Like they're always very sweet, usually orange blossom or jasmine based. Even the men's fragrances, which I own a couple of, I find tend to be sweet. And I just like them all. Like I'm trying to think, I should do a Jean Paul Gaultier video if you're ever like interested. I'm trying to think if there was ever a scent I tried for them that I didn't like. And I don't think there is. It's just a house that, for better or for worse, I vibe with very, very easily. So I feel so confident, like even without looking at notes, I feel confident buying blind from them. And this is one I hadn't really even heard about. So this is, like I said, it's the It's the Eau de Parfum, it's the Essence de Parfum is the name, and this is the Eau de Parfum Intense. It looks a little bit body, like shape-wise, similar to La Belle. Much more, it's like the La Belle body compared to the Classique Eau de Toilette body, which is not so like angular and pointy. But yeah, so this one lists a lot of notes that are up my alley, of course. Tangerine, aldehydes, ginger, orange blossom, jasmine, whipped cream, vanilla, benzoin, cashmere wood, and woody notes. So let's see here. Ooh, okay, wait, I'm gonna spray some more. Again, very, very sweet, but less sweet than La Belle starts out with. And less sweet than I think Classique Eau de Toilette even starts out with. This one has like a ginger, but like ginger flowerness that is reminding me of, I think it's called Olympia, the Paco Rabanne fragrance. It gives off that vibe. I think it's called Olympia. Yeah, maybe it's not, but yeah, I think it's Olympia, and I have the Eau de Parfum Légère, I think. That has ginger flower in it, and this has ginger and aldehydes and tangerine in the opening. And I think it's just kind of that combined with its classic orange blossom jasmine that, like I said, Classique and Jean Paul Gaultier in general really favors, and those are two of my favorite florals. It's kind of like this baby or intersection between Jean Paul Gaultier and Paco Rabanne. Like women's fragrances, that's what I feel like this is smelling like. It's totally up my alley. It does actually, the tangerine in this is quite pronounced. I wasn't, obviously it's in the opening, but I was wondering if it was going to get kind of like overpowered by all the sweetness and vanilla and everything, but it's not. I'm trying to think if I get kind of like a whipped cream or lactonic vibe, and I have to say I don't. Like I feel like I get more of like a ginger flower vibe than whipped cream. I am really interested in the base of this, or like the dry down, which obviously is going to take a while to get to, because I felt like the dry down to this seemed like it was going to be also a departure and be a little bit more maybe like, I mean, this were my hopes that it would be kind of like sweet whipped cream and like cashmere woods and a little bit woody and maybe have like a stronger base. Right now I'm getting so much of that tangerine ginger flower, like sweet florals, that I obviously don't smell any of that base, but I'm intrigued to see if that's the vibe. I love it though. It's very nice. I feel like if you like Jean Paul Gaultier and you like Paco Rabanne's women's fragrances, because those also tend to be sweet. This is, like I said, kind of like the beautiful intersection. I, because of other people that were buying it, found out that this even existed and that it's harder to find, and that people really like it, especially if you tend to collect or favor Jean Paul Gaultier. So if you are interested and if it's not sold out as of yet, then definitely check it out. And like I said, tester bottles, if you don't collect boxes, which I don't, are a really great way to kind of get something for an extra deal on top of sales already. So the next one is a first from the house. Actually, the next two are, but the next one in specific, I've been really putting off for no reason whatsoever. I've said this before to you guys. Sometimes I'll get excited about something or want something, and I will, or like a house in general, I will just put it off for years and years. Like it took me so long to get my first Chanel fragrance, which is insane. I spent a long time before I gave in to like Montal and Mancera as well. It's like, once it gets in my head, it's hard for me to like remove it, but then I'll get maybe like 30 Jean Paul Gaultiers or something. So I can't explain it, but this is a house where I've just been putting it off and off and off. And then I saw this deal, I watched a couple videos, and I'm like, just give in, just break the seal, go for it. So the house is Tiziana Terenzi. I'm unsure how to pronounce that. And it's an Italian niche fragrance house that I've seen time and time again. There's one called Cassiopeia, which I just like the name and I really like that constellation, and I was gonna get it for that, but I'm like, get over yourself. But then I saw this one, and it's the Casanova Anniversary Collection Extrait de Parfum, was on sale during this Black Friday sale. So I decided this would be the moment I would give in. I actually have always liked looking at the bottles. Ooh, look. I always felt like the bottles were nice. Again, this is a tester bottle, so it just comes in that normal box. The boxes for these are stunning as well, especially this one. I feel like the full box of it actually has like a light that turns on every time you open it, and it's supposed to be really beautiful. So at least what I've seen in like images and videos, but for me, like, it wasn't worth it to pay infinitely more just to have that. And I'm trying to see if the cap is plastic, so it's not heavy as you would imagine it would be, but this here is the bottle. And I know a lot of people really like gold bottles. I feel like they, especially this kind of gold, like mirrored, is hard to take care of because already it's getting so many finger marks on it, but to each their own. So this has a lot of notes, and I felt like the reviews for this one were also like hard to place because some people were like, it's super powdery, some people were like, it's so like woody, and it just went in many different directions, and there's so many notes. So I'm curious. This lists powdery notes: fig leaf, orchid, bergamot, jasmine, ambergris, leather, myrrh, cardamom, gaiac wood, pink pepper, vanilla, cardamom, white musk, cedar, amber, vetiver, tonka, and oak moss. When things get that long, it's so, and even the reviews, like, they kind of go all over the place. It's so hard to guess, even if you're like a seasoned blind buyer. So I just took the risk and decided to see for myself if I like it. Oh, okay, what is this reminding me of? Okay, it's not a fragrance I already own. It reminds me something of real life. It's like, there is something, wow. Okay, right off the bat, there was like this kind of like puff of powderiness that has already disappeared. Like right when I sprayed it, it almost smelled like super powdery for like 4 seconds. And I can still smell it in the base, but I get how that, I was interested to see like why powdery notes were in the opening, and then like nothing else really alluded to powderiness again. And I totally get that. It's like this like instant puff that dissipates. There is a sort of green leaf, I guess fig leaf, like fig leaf amberiness that is there. It's sort of, it's actually a bit like seductive smelling, I have to say. It also borderline is like how myrrh can sometimes smell, or like get, if it's like too resinous, can kind of like get on the borderline of being medicinal. I don't think it's a medicinal scent, but it is getting like borderline there. Kind of like medicinal ointment like. I like it. This is very unique. I don't think there's anything in my fragrance collection that smells like this, but there's something in real life that is reminding me of this Casanova. I think this would be a really nice fall scent. That's the kind of like imagery it evokes for me, are like kind of orangey, yellow tones. I'm very intrigued. It's a scent that I, again, like I say, I wasn't expecting. It's, yeah, it's weird. It's like, and I like medicinal scents, and this is kind of towing the line towards it. It's a bit resinous, ambery. Maybe with like a touch of salt. It's probably the ambergris, but it has that like green leaf powdery. Yeah, I really like it. I have to say, I get no leather though. I was curious to see if it was gonna get leathery, because leather's such a strong note. It's such a prominent note. I don't get leather at all. So this will just be one of the many reviews. If you're ever interested in Casanova, I feel like the reviews on this are so all over the place, but to my nose, just to put my opinion in the mix, I get no leather whatsoever. So if that's been like a deterrent for you, then don't worry. I would agree that this is unisex. I feel like this can kind of morph into a lot of different vibes depending on where you're wearing it to and your skin chemistry. There's a little bit of sweetness, but it's not too sweet. It's a little bit woody, but it's not too woody. And it smells seductive to me, which, I mean, maybe was exactly the point, because it's called Casanova, because it really does have that alluring, seductive vibe. And I feel like, obviously I don't know because I've only sprayed it once and it's just first impressions, but I feel like it's going to sit a little bit closer to the skin. So maybe it's a little bit more of like an intimate fragrance as well. Yeah, okay, that's Casanova by Tiziana Terenzi. Okay, so this is the last one. I've been putting it off because not only is it a first from the house, but this has been years, probably a decade, if not more, that I've put off the purchase of this fragrance. Like, I can't even explain to you. And every year that goes by, I get like less and less sure that I should pick it up. So the fact that I gave in, and I gave in because it was, again, like a tester bottle, and it was like the best deal I've seen for it so far. And I was already getting adventurous, so I decided to pick it up. And the scent in question is Molecule 01 by Eccentric Molecules. I remember when this was coming out, and this was like a lot of British beauty YouTubers were posting about it then. And they were going through, because Eccentric Molecules is a UK based brand. They were going through bottles of this. Like, the amount of hype that existed around this at the time, if you were on YouTube, was extortionate. It was like seriously astronomical. And people would just, like, they were so enamored. And at the time, like, ISO Super scents or kind of molecular scents weren't really as popular as they are now. So I felt like this was really the one that like broke the glass ceiling on all that. Like, celebrities were wearing them, influencers were wearing them, like everyone was talking about this for a while. Now, of course, Eccentric Molecules has come up with like a bunch of Moleculo 1, 2, 3, 4, Eccentric 1, 2, 3, 4. They have like Eccentric Musk. They have a whole bunch of fragrances, but I always told myself if I was ever gonna try one, I would go with the original, because I owed that to like my young YouTube loving self. But as the years have gone by and I've tried out other molecule fragrances, notably Not a Perfume by Juliette Has a Gun, I've always been worried because I can't smell Not a Perfume. And I know it's not ISO Super, but I've just got it in my head that I'm like, I either really, really love them, like You by Glossier is my favorite, or I can't smell them at all. And it's very rarely that they're in between. And I've just, like, I hyped this up in my own mind enough where I'm obviously stalling, where I don't know if I'm going to be able to smell it. So I thought I would at first kind of smell it on my skin. And then at second, I have this Juliette Has a Gun, actually, cardboard that I could just spray onto, or maybe this Tiziana. If this one doesn't smell, yeah, maybe this will be better. And I could spray it on paper as well, because I really want to give it a fair shot. So, okay, there's nothing here. It doesn't even smell like body wash. I'm really hoping I can smell something. Molecule 01. Okay. I can't smell almost anything. Wait, here, I'll spray it on here too. Let me just do both at once. We might as well. I have heard that sometimes you can smell it a little bit like after the fact. Okay, I really can't smell anything on the cardboard, so It's just ISO Super, and I know it's good for layering, but I want, like, people can really smell it themselves. Maybe like there's a, I'm trying to compare it to my other hand. Maybe there's like a faint, okay, a faint woodiness, but it's so faint, I might be making it up. I'm gonna douse myself now. You guys, oh God, I knew this would happen. I've now sprayed it enough where I can certainly smell more than the one spray on my hand. Maybe this isn't like a one spray scent. So I can smell the sillage around me more than I could ever smell anything on my hand. I don't know if this is what it's supposed to smell like. Please leave in the comments below. More than any other time, tell me what this smells like to you. Because what I get is kind of a very faint, soft woodiness that has like a touch of, it doesn't smell like pencil sharp, like shavings, the way like pencil shavings or muskiness, the way Glossier You does. And that really does smell like, I smell that. This smells like if I were to smell woodsy notes, just like vague woodsy notes from a mile away. I don't know. It's so faint. I'm so curious. I'm gonna get like everyone I know today to smell me and tell me what they smell. I suppose I smell it now that I've doused myself. I suppose I smell it more than Not a Perfume. Not a Perfume really did smell like a liter of water and like a drop of lemon. The one time I felt like I could smell it was on Paper with my cousin in that video, if you guys didn't see. And I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, it actually does smell like something. And then I could never smell it again. Like I tried it after she left. I've yet to be able to smell it. I have no idea what's going on. And now, okay, I'm 100%, you need to follow me on Instagram, 100%, I promise I will come back and tell you guys kind of an update. I'm gonna have to really put that one to the test because I do get wafts of like a woodiness that is, I think, nice. But now I'm thinking maybe I'm smelling way too many things that actually smell like something, and this just smells like nothing, and it's like Emperor's New Clothes all over again, but with scent. So anyways, that is Molecule 01 by Eccentric Molecules. Okay, so I've taken a very long beat to be able to really give the Eccentric Molecules a chance and just give myself some time to figure out what order I was going to put these in, like I always do with my hauls. And the reality is, we'll start with fourth. I gotta be honest, in fourth place, I'm putting Molecule 01. I am so disappointed in my nose because either I am more anosmic to things than I thought I was, which how dare my nose do that? This is my favorite hobby of all time. And I always figured I have a very strong like sense of smell. I can smell things from like very, very far away. People used to like joke that I was like a hound. And so I refuse to be anosmic to these molecules. I absolutely refuse, and I will manifest not being so. Especially because I know it's popular, because that one time it's possible, because that one time I did smell Not a Perfume. I think I smell something, but I don't think this was the moment. Like, I think I should have hauled this by itself, or at least tried it by itself before speaking to you guys, because there was too much of a combination of like strong, sweet, herbally, myrrh, resinous scents. And this is getting too mixed up in the game. And I'm gonna smell this on its own. I'm gonna come back to you guys. But for the purposes of being honest for this haul, that's in fourth place because it's just like, it's still TBD on how I feel about it. In third place, actually, I'm gonna have to put Classique Essence. I think that's what it's called. I always forget. Classique Essence de Parfum. listen, I like this. I actually like the other three a lot. So from now onwards, it's just like loves. But this, probably because it's an eau de parfum intense, but I think it's a lot and it's a bit overpowering right now. Not in a bad way, but it's a bit overpowering. And I think the tangerine note in particular is like biting. It's so strong. And I think that I just need to be a little bit more in the mood for this. And this is probably also what's making it so hard to smell Molecula One. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself. So I like it. I like the scent. It's certainly my sort of vibe and I will definitely be wearing it. But I need to wear this on a day where I'm not wearing anything else. And that's just like user error, or not even user error, but just like most people aren't hauling fragrances left, right, and center, and they'll just wear like one scent a day. This is really like when you wear this, I think you gotta commit to this because it will last. But you know, that's also a high point of the fragrance, that it'll last a long time and it's got good performance. In second place, I'm gonna put Gypsy Water. I really like this. It's kind of, as I filmed and taken a beat, it's taken a softer, like it's got a lot of a softer orris vibe to it right now. I guess because there's orris root and there's like sandalwood, and it's really softened up and it's less so pine needle lemon pepper and much more like orris sandalwood. Not a sweet vanilla, but kind of like vanilla woods. I'm so happy. Like I'm happier and happier that I picked this up the more it's on my skin. So I'm really, really happy to have this. It makes me feel like a classy lady who's really got her life together. Like that's the kind of vibe that one gives me. And in first place, kind of surprisingly, I'm gonna give it up for Casanova. This just has something like intriguing about it. There's something about the combination of like this puff of powderiness, but this like resinous, borderline resinous myrrh, this like woodiness and vanilla. Like I'm just really taken by this. This also feels like it's gonna last a long time. And I was thinking, I'm like, wow, this seems like there's really two fragrances that are so much stronger than I was expecting. And it feels like they're gonna perform really well, even though obviously it's only been a little while since I started the haul. And I looked it up, I'm like, of course, this is an extrait de parfum. Of course, I'm happy. Like it makes sense that this is lasting longer and that one's an eau de parfum intense and it's lasting longer. So I think it's a great one for especially kind of like fall winter vibes, but I'm excited to be trying it out. And it's different, but enough where it's interesting to me, but it's also within my wheelhouse because of that like powdery resinous vibe, which you guys know I love. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very interesting haul. Please leave me in the comments below which one of these fragrances you've tried or you'd like to try. More than ever, if you've ever tried this, I cannot tell you enough how much I want to hear from you. Like anything you have about this, please let me know. I'm going to be reading all the comments as I usually do, but I'm going to be giving like full wear tests post shower, like when I really smell like the most nothing, I'm going to be wearing this and doing full wear tests because I need to figure it out. I refuse to be anosmic to a single thing. I will not let that happen. So I'll come back to you guys probably on Instagram and do kind of like an update. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time. Bye.